Hi, thank you so much for stopping by Soul Expressions. My name is Zanika. If you're here for the first time, I'm so glad to finally meet you. And if you are returning, I'm so happy to see you yet another time. Please, would you share, comment, like, subscribe, turn on your notification bell so you're aware when something is out. And I pray that it will minister to your spirit, your soul, your heart, put a smile on your face every single time. I pray that you have had a good day thus far, a good week. Um, my heart is a bit heavy today, and I felt led to express uh, the Spirit of God in this type of setting today. So I just got home maybe not long ago from a day at church, a Sunday right now, and I grabbed something to eat, and I thought I can come home, shower, and crash. Anyhow, I had like a moment by myself in the car, and it's like my spirit is just sad, and I'm having these moments where I'm like crying, and I'm like, God, like what's really happening to me? You know, I know that sometimes when God takes us through process of like healing, we have those episodes because he's taking us back and like healing us from wounds and scars that we didn't even recognize that we acquired along our journey of life. And then there are times when we are stretching out, in the person that we are, and we're becoming a more mature version of ourselves. And that stretch is a little bit painful, but nevertheless, I was trying to discern, like, God, like, what's really happening to me, you know? Um, for myself, it's a piece of me that can testify and witness to the truth that there is a void. I'll speak for myself. There is a void within me that I realize that only God alone can satisfy, only God alone can quench, only God alone can comfort. So I have my moments where it's like I I don't want to hear a word from another person. I don't want to have a conversation because nothing is really hitting me at the place where I need it the most. And in those times, it's only the presence of God, the Spirit of God that can truly comfort me. So I had one of those moments, you know, as I was out eating, the dining area, it was like full, surrounded by so many people. It was so many people, families and children. And, in the midst of it, ah, in the midst of it, I was there by myself, and I was walking, and I felt like I was surrounded by a lot of people, but I felt like I was the only person there. I don't know if any of you can relate to that, where we're in this huge world surrounded by so many people every day, but you feel so alone. You feel like you're by yourself, like no one sees you, like no one hears you, like no one understands you, So I felt like that, and I was like, oh my God. I kind of like hurried my sitting, my dining out to just get out of that atmosphere because I was becoming overwhelmed, and I felt like tears wanted to come out. I felt so alone, naked, vulnerable, so I got out and I came in my car and I just sat there and I just looked and I said, God, what's happening to me? Like, what's happening in my life? Like, where am I at? What am I doing? Where am I supposed to go? What am I feeling? You know, I'm searching in my mind, like, is there someone that I could talk to right now? And as I'm searching, imagining my contact list, it's like no one to really understand whatever I'm feeling at the moment, to even explain what I'm feeling, the time that it will take for a person to catch up to the place where I'm at right now. It's like, you know what? It's pointless to even call anyone. And I sat there and I wept in the presence of the Lord, as the Lord ministered to me. So I'll just like to share maybe this year will make it 7 years ago, 2015. It's around this time. Right now the world is celebrating Valentine's. So around 2015, around Valentine's, I had something happen in my life where I was in this relationship that I thought was very meaningful. It meant a lot to me, so I was making plans and efforts trip in regards to Valentine's because of that relationship. The ending of that story was very tragic. It was very painful. It was very excruciating. It was very embarrassing. It was very degrading. Through that process from February of 2015 to August of 2015, within those 6 months was when it was like extremely intense. I lost my mind. I had to go to a mental institution. The relationship that I had, I lost that. My heart felt like it was ripped out of my chest. My soul went into a place of darkness where I'm conscious that it was in the realm of hell, torment, torture, misery, confusion. Everything that I had, even it might not have been much, but it's all that I had. I lost everything. Any friend that I had, I lost everything, including my soul, because I was disconnected from the realm of what we know as earth. So during those 6 months, I endured so much torture, so much suffering and affliction, mentally, spiritually, and physically. So when I was revived, I'll use that word, by the Spirit of God, brought back to this realm of earth, how we understand as humans, I was in like a shook place. And as time went by, I realized that I was experiencing something, postpartum depression. I think it's what it's called. PSTD. I didn't know at that time. I wasn't conscious of it, and I didn't realize that I was experiencing that. So I would have like flashbacks. I would have flashbacks of the things that I encountered, flashbacks of the things that I saw, spiritual things, as well as in the natural, flashbacks of it was so painful, so, for years, people, for years, I dread this time of the year. For years, I hated it because it was a constant reminder of that thing that I experienced. I was still healing from it. It stripped me to the depths of my core, where I felt like an empty shell. I didn't understand how is it that I was still alive and my feet was touching solid ground. I wasn't able to connect to the world that we know. Like when you go outside and the wind blows and you feel the wind. I couldn't feel the wind. People would laugh and it wouldn't provoke me to smile or laugh. At that time, nothing was funny to me. Happiness, I didn't know that. Joy, I didn't know that. Compassion, I didn't know that. I didn't have any type of emotion, like I was numb, like a walking dead person, zombie. You know what I'm saying? So over the years, it has been so much healing, so much deliverance. All I really know now is God. Like I said, every friend that I thought that I had, I was stripped of everything. When my mind came back, I was like in the mindset of a child. At this time, I was maybe 27, 28 years old. And my speech, my mentality, my understanding was like a 5-year-old child. I stuttered when I spoke. My memory was gone, so I forgot things that I knew before. I forgot. So I had to relearn everything about the place where we know as earth. I had to relearn how to speak, relearn how to communicate. To tell you the truth, sometimes I'm still amazed that I speak and I'm able to effectively communicate to another person and they understand as well as I also understand. That still baffles and amazes me that that's happening through me. That's how bad it was. So if I can just pause for a moment, like sometimes in our everyday life, we see people and we see an outer image of a person. And a lot of people, they're like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. They see that on the outside, but a lot of times you can't see the pain. You can't see the turmoil, the struggle that's happening internal within a person. For myself, I always get it a lot like, oh my God, Anika, your smile is so pretty. Such a beautiful smile. And when I'm by myself, I say, God, if they only knew, you know what I'm saying? I have a motto that I say, dry tears and silent cry, because there's a cry in the depth of my soul that man can't hear. There are tears that stroll from my eyes that the naked eye can't see. Only God himself can really understand that. And I'm very sure that even as I've had my own experience and I'm having my experiences, some of you too can relate to those pains in your soul that to you it's pointless to even open up and talk to someone about it, because when you're done talking, you feel like you're at square one, still in the same position, no help. So years of healing, years of like me really spending time with God to know God for myself. I had to learn who I was, who I am, my identity, the person who I thought I was before this happened to me, that was stripped of me so that I can become the person that I truly am, who God created me to be. And I'm learning this person, and I'm still learning this person. And sometimes I don't always understand. So while the years have been going by, the first 3 years were extremely rough. And then I work in a restaurant. I got a job at a restaurant. And Valentine's is our busiest weekend. And for years, it bothered me. For years, I struggled because it was a constant reminder. And the more I kept seeing people, and it just reminded me over and over and over and over again, my situation that happened around this time is so deep that one video, one conversation would not even give you the littlest of it, how bad and deep it was. But I thank God, so last year wasn't so bad. This year I felt like, okay, it's a lot better. But when I found myself today at this place, and I'm like, oh my God, like, what's happening to me? The truth is that even since then, I've encountered so many disappointments, so many other hurts, and so many other pains since that time, before that time. So today it was kind of like all in one. It's like, God, why has my life been so painful? It feels like. Why has my life been so rough? Why is it that I have these moments that's so consistent, frequent, where I'm just by myself and I'm crying, just sad, wondering if there's anyone can feel the pain that I feel, if anyone can understand and relate to what I'm experiencing that I can't always articulate and verbalize to communicate to a person for them to really get the true understanding of that thing that I'm feeling. I stayed up late last night to do someone's hair, and I was avoiding hair situations, but the Lord has been pushing me. And I stayed up late last night to do someone's hair. And we were talking. In the midst of us talking, I'm ministering to this person. And in the midst of it, I'm sharing with her. But even as I was sharing it with her, the Lord was ministering to myself as well to remind me, because there was a time when I asked God that question: God, why is it that I go through so much? Why is it that all like pain, since a little girl, you know what I'm saying? And I remember the Lord explained to me that He said, Anika, every single thing that you go through that has caused you pain or that you experience pain, He said, there's a culture of people, that you will be able to minister to because you have gone through that thing. We can't help anybody if we've never been through anything. I can't tell you how to get out of that situation if I've never been in that situation. I can't comfort you and wipe tears from your eyes for a pain that I've never felt before. You know what I'm saying? So the Lord taught me then. He said, you have to go through it first. When Jesus went on the cross and died for mankind's sin, Jesus had to bear those scars, those thorns, those whiplashes. He had to bear those. The Bible says that Jesus was God in flesh. He's aware of every sin, every temptation, every pain. Jesus knows what it feels like because He went through it. And that's why He's able to minister to us. So the Lord encouraged me last night that basically everything that I went through is for someone else. It's for a people. It's for you. It's for your neighbor down the street. It's for that person at your job. You know what I'm saying? But as I was there today and I felt so alone, I felt so vulnerable, and I was in that place like, God, have mercy, Jesus. And the Lord said, Anika, just go ahead on the channel and just express yourself. Share that little bit of your testimony, because a lot of times people, they see where you are right now. A lot of times people may see the smile and what looks like beauty, but they don't see the backside of it. People may see the final product of something you've been working on, but they don't see the tears and the many nights and the money that you've invested and nothing. They don't see that stuff. And one thing I told the Lord all my life, God, I want to be an authentic person. I never want to be a hypocritical person. There is a season. Seasons change. We have night, we have day, we have sun, and we have light, we have darkness. You know what I'm saying? So it's good sometimes when there's a word of encouragement, but it's also good to show people that sometimes there are hard times. Sometimes there's a struggle. Sometimes there's unsurety in your mind, but in it all, the Lord always tells us that all things work together for our good. So while I was there and I was down and, I had my moment, I released it at the feet of the Lord. He comforted me, He encouraged me, and He even sent me on the channel to go and watch videos that He's had me made. And those words ministered back to my own self. And that even encouraged me, looking at my own self, to look at me, to say, Anika, look at God. Look how far God brought you from. I don't even look like the person that I looked like 7 years ago, 2015. I literally looked like I was crazy. If you looked at me, I look like the people that you see on the streets. You could see torment on me. You could see that I was at a place of unrest, uneasiness, and my God, in the midst of it, God thought about me. He considered me. Grace and mercy showed up for me, and God didn't allow me to die in that place, because if I had died in that place, my soul would have been in hell for the rest of eternity. but God gave me another chance. So even as I'm even speaking right now, I'm hearing the Lord say, Anika, you are a miracle. You know, you're living your second chance. And he's a God of many chances. So he'll give you yet another chance again, because God fights for his people. God loves us. So that's a piece. That's just a piece of my testimony. For this time of the year, I'm very sure that the strength and the comfort of the Lord will take me through it. And perhaps there's still pieces that still needs healing, but God is able and God is faithful. So I don't know if this time of the year kind of pull any triggers on you. Some people have been single for a long time. And this time of the year is very depressing, because a lot of people, they're celebrating love, and a lot of people is fighting and struggling, like they don't even feel like they're worthy to be loved. I have moments like that too, but God is reminding us that his love is sufficient for us. And like I said earlier, that it's a piece of us that nothing and no one else can satisfy. It's only God himself can satisfy that. This season of the year might not be that thing that really triggers something for you, but perhaps you have a memorial of something that you've encountered in your life that has scarred you tremendously, drastically. And there are times where that thing surfaced, because there are bits of it where you're still not completely healed from, and it comes up and it caused you to go in that place. But I'm here as a living testimony and a witness that God is still the potter. God is still Alpha and God is still Omega. God is still Abba. God is still Jehovah Jireh. And whatever it is that you may need right now, he is willing. And God told me, he said, Anika, I am here with you. I was there with you then. I was there with you before you were in your mother's womb. And I will be with you forever. And that same God who is with me, that same God is with you as well. I thank you guys so much for those of you who tune in, for those of you who share. I thank God for those of you who God allows me to minister to, and it actually transform your heart, turn on the light bulb in your mind, encourage your spirit, and lift you up. From God's mouth to your ears, be encouraged. God loves you, and I love you too. There's a motto the Lord gave me when everything happened, and it's, we are one. It could have been me. I no longer look on the people on the street. I didn't look at them like that before, but now I see them in a different light now, where I see them. And every time I pass someone on the street, I said, God, that could have been me. And we are one. It's only circumstances that separates us from not being like those people on the street, or the people in fourth and third world country, naked without food. So I don't look down on people, and I don't see people as if they're greater than myself, but we are one. The thing that hurt me might not be the thing that hurt you, but we all hurt. We all cry. We all feel pain. We are one. So with the love of God, I love you. Until next time, God bless you.